here we go with the game played between Kawabata and Shin Nuito. Okay, so let's start. Yeah, here we've got quite normal opening, and now black played this jump. This jump is a little bit unusual, in my opinion, because when black plays this jump, black is already behind. Black is behind white, so that white can choose actually where to play. Here, if we are looking this kind of a race, here, black and white. Normally, black and white are going to run, right? Like here, maybe black could continue this way, white could continue this way, but doesn't matter how many times black would go there, white will be anyway faster, one line faster. So that like this, white would even get territory on the fourth line, which is also usually more comfortable if black cannot attack anything, any other group in some spectacular way. So already after this exchange, white is able to play, for example, this is what happened in the game. And now what's going on? If black will continue playing here and black will get this wall, how black can use it? Not so easy, right? Because white already got here these moves, these two moves on the left side, which can break any possible black's extension from the wall. So like this, black kind of lost the possibility of attacking some stones, what could be normally possible in this kind of opening. So if it's not possible for black to use any interesting way these two stones, and usually it's not that easy to find another kind of continuation from these stones. Like, of course, it's possible to try playing somewhere in the corner, somewhere here, later, something like this. It's possible to complicate the situation a little bit. But in general, these two moves, like reason of these two moves would be to attack something. That's why black plays into the center. But now, not so easy. So in the actual game, black made this exchange and later black played from the other side. So normally in this opening, when white already has here these two stones, this one and later also this one, when black ignored, for black I would recommend just to keep playing tenuki. Just black can continue, for example, playing something like this or something like this, possible to play elsewhere. If black would like to continue in this area, in this lower left corner, I would recommend to play, for example, something like this, and then when white plays here, this kind of move, this double hane, so that later when white plays something like this, black is alive in the corner. Black doesn't need to be that much afraid of it. Here there was a question, would white f5, this one, be a bad move? This move is a good one. This move is a good one. Like this, white plays fast. If white played this move in this spot, if white played like this, now white is a little bit slower, but a little bit more protected in the corner, so that there are less agi here, but white on the other hand is slower, so white doesn't get here that much potential either. And when white stone is a little bit further, now when there is this f4, white gets a little bit more profit, but white doesn't protect the corner that much. Would white f5, sorry, I was speaking about this one. Would white f5 here, this one, after this f5, in my opinion, is not necessary, because still black cannot get advantage in this race between black and white. All the time white will be faster, so in my opinion, white played a good move. White played here well. If white wanted to keep a little bit more pressure over black stones, it could be also possible, for example, to jump, so that now it's a little bit more pressure over these two black stones is put, so that if black escapes with these stones, black would need to push a few times more, probably, if black would like to have a nice way to escape, so that white would be able to get more territory on the bottom. So that this move here at e8 could put a little bit more pressure, so that white would be able to get more territory on the bottom. But like this, in my opinion, it's still fine. Here, after these kind of moves, when black jumps, let's say, white starts to get some kind of a wall. White gets a wall here. But now this stone starts to be weaker as well, so that there might be a possibility so that white would need to play from both sides to get profits. So that either white would play somewhere here, or white would play somewhere, some extension, how to play here, and later like this would look quite well. But it might be not that easy for white to get both sides, so that if, for example, white would choose to play like this, now black can already continue and lower white a little bit more on the left side. Or if white chose to play something like this, black has an option also to play some like a little bit different shape, but black also has an opportunity to play, for example, something like this, so that white cannot make that nice extension from this just appearing wall. after d11, is it okay to play at e8? d11. Is this move sente or gote? No, it's not sente. So when black plays here, white can control the game. White can still play wherever white would like. For example, now white is already able to make this exchange so that white will have this just made wall, and now white can already play here. Black didn't put any pressure over two white stones. So black only escapes with this group, and now white is able to play, for example, this kind of exchange, and later getting here some nice kind of a moyo. So later it would be possible to fight a little bit there or even get some territory. So yeah, this move doesn't finish center, doesn't give black center. And in this area, there are some moves which could be in center for black. For example, like this. This move is more annoying for white because if white doesn't play there, later black is already able to cut. There starts to be a problem, more serious problem for white in this shape. If black adds a stone here and white plays elsewhere, black cannot do much. White is able to kill black there on the left side. But if black plays like this, in my opinion, most likely white would answer. So this move is going to be in center, and this move here is not going to be in center. So I would like, if I was black, I would like to keep this kind of move in center for the future. So maybe it would not be necessary for black to play anywhere there and keep this kind of moves for the future. There's also another possibility. This might look a little bit crazy, but it's also possible to play something like this if black would like to get own shape a little bit stronger, so that if white plays somewhere here, now black gets one more stone in the center. If white plays something like this, black is already able, for example, to get a base on this left side, so that it would be easier for black to survive with own stones in that area. Black might also choose to play on the fifth line, so that black would get a little bit more influence towards the center. So like this, black can get some move in center. Yeah, so in my opinion, if black is able to get anywhere there, like a possibility to escape, so that black can play some center moves, later black can, choose the direction, I would still recommend to play tenuki. Still tenuki. For black, it's possible all the time to live in the corner. It's possible to play at this c3. Black is able to survive there, and black has a possibility to escape towards the center anyway. So in this kind of situation, I would just recommend to play elsewhere, for example, something like this. So yeah, white anyway isn't able to kill these stones. So what can white do? White can only play somewhere here to protect the corner, but all the time black is able to escape with this group. So in my opinion, it's not that a big problem for black. It's possible just to simply ignore this situation and everything is going to be fine. Yeah, and here after this push, white starts to get territory on the fourth line. Black starts to get this wall, and black cannot use this wall. So in my opinion, this exchange is not necessary for black. Now this f5, this one for this one. In my opinion, it's not necessary for black, because black just gives white territory on the fourth line, and black cannot use own wall in a nice way because white already has here two stones. So it is better to play something like j3 for black. j3 looks like, for now, it looks like it might be an interesting move. But in this situation, white might be able to play some forcing moves. So that when white starts to play like this, it's going to be center. Black would need to answer. Later, if white will continue playing like this, suddenly it might turn out that white is going to get some kind of a wall. And this black's move, if black will not be able to finish in center, then this move can be attacked. If black would play somewhere there on this left side to just try to survive with this group, and white would finish, maybe just even possible to ignore now this shape. If white would get a center, now white would be able to play here, and black is under attack. So white can have a nice possibility of using this wall for attacking. Normally walls don't have reason to just take territory. Normally people don't take the territory with walls. Walls are just some stones which can help with attacking. This territory might happen only if nobody invades. Then, okay, nobody invaded, we had there some weakness, but nobody invaded, then we get their territory. But normally, reason of having walls is possibility to attack opponent. So now this move number one starts to be very close to the wall, so it's easier to attack it. So like this, white can turn the situation into a position so that it's still possible to attack this black stone at j3. So because of this, I would recommend to play a little bit further, so that, now it's hard to really decide what to play for white. If white will continue playing like this, later white cannot play that far extension. if black would like, black can play also like one line further, for example, so that now even this extension cannot be really that far. So white can play probably only here in the future if white gets this wall. But this kind of move is anyway, in my opinion, already good enough just to protect the corner so that there are no sun moves. And like this, still this wall would not be that profitable for white because white would not be able to make this like extension that far away, from this own wall. Also for white, it doesn't make, in my opinion, now much sense to play any moves like this because white already has this extra stone. So if black would play elsewhere, for white would not like to play this kind of move because then this move which was initially there would be just making this shape much more over concentrated. So that if white could place this move in some other spot instead, for example, somewhere here, it would look much more interesting for white. So like this, in my opinion, white would not be interested to play either. So later in the actual game, black played like this, white played this exchange, and later white came back to the corner. And black played again in the center. Here, I didn't really understand white's plan because, I have a question actually to white, to Shinuito. What did you think about black's opportunity in the center? Would it be possible to block your stones here? How do you think?
No, I think I just wanted to try and attack the black stones, but I guess they're not that attackable.
Okay. If you attack these black stones with making this exchange first and later playing in the corner, now you start to take some kind of a wall. But you finish in Gote. Now it's black's turn. So that black would be able to protect. In the game, black later protected on stone so that you cannot use your wall, the second stone, in an efficient way while attacking anything from opponent. So if you plan to enter the corner anyway, I would recommend not to play this exchange first, just playing there. So that if black is not able to surround you here, so that black can connect everything there, so that later black has a very nice shape. If it's not possible for black, black can only play something here, and you are still able to cut this shape in the future. Or if you don't play there, black would need to add another move to connect everything. Then I would recommend just to protect this corner so that you don't make this exchange which could make some profit for black. The stone can help black a little bit more. Black enters this space, and your two stones cannot help you that much if black still protects all this bottom, so that you cannot attack opponent like this.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I just couldn't find the timing to come back and attack the stone on the bottom.
I see. Okay. So if you already decided to play this move here at g5 and black answered, I would recommend to follow the same style, so that the same strategy, so that when you started to take this wall, I would recommend to continue getting here maybe one more stone. If black protects on shape, then I would recommend already to attack this one stone so that you can make a use of your wall. So that now this territory, it might be not so interesting, it's just territory. And now when you already have a wall, I would recommend to make use of this so that this wall starts to be more efficient. So here I would recommend to change a strategy and attack this one stone from black. And like this, you get the second move in the center so that it looks like you have a little bit bigger wall, but later you come back and at the end it started to look that black got everything. Here black protected on shape, here black was alive anyway with this group, and these your stones, this wall, it's kind of useless now because black gets their stones. So in my opinion, these white stones don't really stay in a good direction, so that it's hard to find any nice continuation from these stones. Okay, here looks good. White played this move, okay, and the black played now this Atari. I have a question to black, to Kawabata. Did you think maybe about some other moves now in this area? How to get some nice shape from these stones?
Okay, I guess that my first intuition was like f8 because it's like looks like the shape move. But I thought that getting out was much more important in that moment.
Yeah, I agree. This move here at f8, it gives you an eye because if you play elsewhere later, white will play like this, you don't have eye. So it looks like a nice spot, but it's gote for you. It's gote for you, so it's annoying. So here it would be good to play somewhere to escape with this group, but maybe it would be possible to escape in a little bit different way than just pushing here. How do you think? Where else it would be possible to play?
Maybe E11? I don't know.
E11. Yeah, for example, there, when you play this E11, what's gonna happen? White will play probably like this. White doesn't want to lose this stone, right? So after this move, you already put a little bit more pressure over this one white stone there, so that instead of playing further from this stone, when you put your stones like this, you don't really attack. You don't really attack this left side. White still has some more liberties. White has here a liberty with the stone. You don't have some stones next to it. So it's like this. You don't put that big pressure over white. And if we compare this move, this one, when later you are able to play, for example, something like this, now you put much more pressure over opponent. It's much easier for you to destroy it, destroy from opponent. Even if opponent answers, now you have basically several choices. You can play like this. You already take away more points from opponent, but you can also play from the other side. For example, you can play something like this, like this, like this, like this. Now you are already alive. Basically, with your group, you cut the stone so that you don't need to be afraid of your group at all. Or it's also even possible just to extend. It's another option, so that if white comes back, you are still able to play here, but you are also able to play this exchange, so that white will not have that many points there on the left side. So like this, you can put a little bit more pressure over the other stones, and white anyway will need to play something to survive with this stone. And here in this shape, it might be possible to play even a little bit different way. It's possible to play here on the start. This might look a little bit ridiculous, but if white escapes with this stone, it's possible to get here extra stones. Now you get here this stones number 3 plus also stone number 5. So like this, you have even more, you put even more pressure over this left side. So now it's even more difficult for white to continue playing in that area, because now you get also one more stone there, so you can complicate a little bit more. So like this, it could be even more helpful for you to play this way. Also in the future, in my opinion, this one should be center for you anyway, because if white doesn't extend, later you are able to play here in center, and these stones might have some problems. So even this one more extension, I think it should be a center move for you in the future. So if we are looking on this left side, it's destroyed. White cannot have there any nice base. I think not possible to have many points for white on the left side. So this move is like, it gives opponent one choice, escaping, that's it. This move, white can also think about playing from the other side, but if you capture the stone anyway, it's good enough for you. So here in this kind of situations, when there are some stones from opponent around, it would be good to use these stones against the opponent, so that these stones are maybe a little bit closer to your stones. Maybe these stones can form some worse shape. So in this kind of situations, I would recommend to choose a little bit different technique, so that it's possible to get a little bit more profit from the other stones from opponent which are already there, so that this opponent stone stays in a bad position.
I see.
Okay, here white played from this side. Okay, black played here this center. Looks fine. Now white played here all these exchanges. Here in this lower right corner, after all these exchanges, this is what is now played. In my opinion, it's hard to find next center moves for white. Black already got here this profit, but black is also kind of fixed in this central part of this corner. Let's say here, when we are looking on this shape, black is already kind of fixed. White cannot really have many other center moves. So instead, when white has here this nice looking wall, it looks very nice. Here it's not possible to get territory on the bottom, but it might be possible to use this wall while getting some territory here on the right side. So what about playing from this side? If black protects the corner, for example, while playing like this, now white is able to play some center moves. White is able, for example, to play like this. Again, we get the same shape, this and this. Normally, this move here, number 3, it's a move to spoil shape. It's a center move so that opponent will need to protect, most likely will need to protect. And like this, white gets an extra stone, which can help in the future. So when black plays like this, white gets 1 extra stone in the center. Later, it might be even possible to play this kind of exchange. White gets another extra stone in the center, and suddenly it starts to look already much more promising for white, so that it could be possible to really make some more serious moyo there. So later, after these exchanges, white can think, okay, let's play a little bit more interesting style. So now, yeah, black would need to probably invade, and what's gonna happen? We are going to have some fight. And if we have a fight, this is a nice information for white because white has this wall. It would be good to use it somehow. So if there is a fight, white should be happy because white is able already to use all these stones which form this wall while attacking opponent. So this is, in my opinion, a nice way to use this wall. After this, yeah, white gets here some base on the right side, but white doesn't get the center moves in this part. So I think black gets also a shape which is okay. Here, black play it anyway in the center. In my opinion, is not that necessary because as white doesn't have center moves there, yeah, hard for white to get there a nice shape. So here I would recommend just to play somewhere tenuki, maybe somewhere here just to protect the corner. In the game now, there is also one move which might be center for black, and also it might give a lot of profit for white. And it's not in this right side. How do you think? Where is this move? D14, this one. Okay, any other ideas? J13, J13, okay. If black plays here, white will answer. And what happens afterwards? After this exchange? Does C13 work? This one. It might be possible to make this exchange, and later it might be possible to do something on the top, but in my opinion it doesn't really work that well because later it's possible to kill these 2 stones, so I think it would not work in this situation. Here there were some other ideas. It was J13, later Q14, this one, and this. Okay, so this move it's not center for black, so yeah, it's not this one. And this move, it is a center for black. It is a center for black because if white doesn't play there, black has already like 100% center, so that now black gets an extra stone which can do some impact for all the other part of the board. Look, this stone number 3 can have impact on all this range, everywhere there. It might be a move which helps black for very big area. And this move number 4, it's dame. It's just like move which white plays next to his own stones. So white doesn't get any profit from this move. So normally white would not like to have this kind of exchange played. So usually in this kind of, after this kind of move, white extends anyway, so that black cannot play this move in center. Also, white normally doesn't play this kind of move because anyway, black is able to play here. Now, white's move is already cut. And again, black can control the situation. Black can try to play for fighting, but black can also play from the other side and get easily here this higher part of the board because black will have their many center moves because white needs to answer because white is here cut. So later again, if black plays here and later black would play this move on the right side, it would feel very painful in my opinion for white. So normally after this kind of move, white would anyway extend. And now what happened? White was not able to play here. So white was also not able to do any nice center moves, to play any nice center moves to attack this black's group here in the center. If we are looking on this black's group, so far it doesn't have 2 eyes. So that white could think about possibility of attacking these stones. So when white plays a move like this, later it's possible to get some combo. For example, if black ignores this, white can try to think about some cutting. So it's possible to do some problems and later hoping it will work here for cutting. But even if this didn't work, even if we don't think about this possibility, and even if white would only jump, After this move, in my opinion, black would need to come back. Black answers there so that black is connected to everything. And what happened? Again, we get a very similar situation, which was here. Here in the center, these two stones marked with triangles, what I just marked, white would play a dummy move. So just white would play next to own stones without really getting extra profit. Here it's very similar because black plays this move number 5 so that black only connects on group without really getting any profit. And this white's move number 4 can again have impact for white for all this range, for very big range, for very big area. So it doesn't matter what's gonna happen there, doesn't matter what kind of fight we're gonna have. This move number 4 is going to help white. It's extra stone, even connected with some other stones. So white is able to use it, but this move number 5, nothing. It just stays 0 points for black. Again, it would be not so comfortable for black to have this kind of shape. So because of this, I would recommend to have this kind of exchange. And later, even if white plays here and black ignores one more time, after this move, it's already, in my opinion, not that necessary to answer. In my opinion, not possible for white to do that many problems for black. So this shape looks more interesting for black. And if it would be center, then I would recommend to add one more move. If we think that this jump from white would be center, then I would recommend to play here this move number 3, so that white cannot play this kind of center move. So black gets a little bit more points here on the top. Black also has some impact over the center because this move can later give black opportunities, for example, like this Kosumi or even Keima. So white will have also a smaller potential. Okay, so in the actual game, black played like this. Later, white played here on the right side. Okay, we get here these exchanges. Later, white played to invade. Okay, black played this move and jumped. Yeah, everything looks okay. Then white played this corner. And what happened afterwards? Afterwards, black played like this. In my opinion, this is a very slow move for black. This move at Q17. Normally, this move is played if really nothing else works. If nothing gives black profit, then okay, black plays there. Usually black plays this Q17 move when black is afraid, like very much, of own group, so that it could die. Then black would think maybe about this Q17 move. But in almost every other case, black doesn't play there. So that I would recommend to extend. For example, to extend. This extension, even if white would be able to survive in the corner, anyway, this extension in most of cases is the best move. Why? Because it puts impact over this other part, over this other area, so that now black might get some profit from the other side. Because of this move here at 1, this S15, it's much easier for black to attack these two stones because black has this possibility to connect later with these stones. White has also less space for making any base with these two stones. When is black R16 playable? R16. This one. This stone, normally it's a not good shape. So this move is not very popular for black. Usually this stone is, this move is played when, let's say, we would add here some more stones from white so that white's shape would be a little bit stronger. So that now it would not be possible for black to attack these two stones. Without the stone, when black extends, then it's possible to play somewhere here, and white starts to have quite serious problems with these two stones. Also later with this shape below. And if white had here an extra stone, like this, now if black plays like this, black can only get some endgame. Black can play like this or like this. It's only an endgame. Black cannot really use this stone in attacking. So it's not so important if there is just this kind of endgame for black. And if after this move, white would be able to survive with this stone, then black would have no points in the corner. And if black plays like this, sometimes it might be possible for black so that white would not be able to live in the corner. Then this move usually could be more interesting. For example, if we take out some stones, let's take these stones. After this move, normally white's continuation in the corner is to play something like this. Then black cuts the stone and white plays some tenuki. This is quite common continuation if we are looking only on this shape. So white kind of sacrifices this move, but black didn't get any profit either. Black just played empty triangle. Black didn't get a move here so that later black could have this nice kind of endgame. So this territory from black, it didn't really change, but for white, it is some plus. White got this 2-3 exchange so that white get an easier way to destroy here black's potential on the top. Later also white can play like this, and here even this move in the future, possible to play like this and destroy a little bit more points in the endgame. So then, normally white thinks about this move at p18 as a continuation. But in really most of cases, if black can choose, for black it's more interesting to play like this, especially if it's possible to attack these two stones. Speaking about, I was afraid of p17. p17 in the actual game. Okay, p17. So if black plays like this, then p17. So what about connection?
Yeah, I thought he was leaving so too easily. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Where would you play now if you were white?
Maybe starting with n18.
n18. So what about playing here? It looks a little bit annoying on the start, right? Because white is able to destroy some of your points. But here I would like to show you that it would be good maybe to notice this exchange. This white's move at r17, it's a move which, you kill the stone, and you get extra move here at s15. This move at s15 is worth a lot of points. It can really give you a lot, because while having this move, it's much easier to attack these stones. Even if white answers somewhere there, you still have very nice endgame, so that this move, it also gives you a lot of profit. So because of this, it's already possible to think even about giving white some points to destroy here on the top. So even if white destroys several points, you are still fine because you get this s15 move.
Okay.
And if white played from the other side like this, then you can cut. It doesn't look that nice for white. You also get these stones to attack. So white still has some not so nice shape. Here there was, what about something like s18 invasion? S18 invasion. It looks unusual. I'm wondering about like one option, just cutting, so that if later black goes the same way, now white gets already like much easier shape to survive. White can take this move at s18. This is like one possibility. So I think white could feel already much better because now there is this exchange. This move here at p18, it might also be quite common move as a continuation from this corner. Like one option for white is to play this p17, and another option is to play p18 as well. So then if we get this exchange that black plays here, white plays here, I think it should be quite comfortable for white. This is one thing. And second thing, I'm still wondering about just move like this, so that black would connect, and white already made black to play this empty triangle. So I think white should still feel quite comfortable. Later also white can play this exchange. Okay, it's like continuation, a little bit more points for white on the right side. And later after this, there is some tesuji. It's possible to play here for white, so that if black cuts white like this, white is able to connect from one side. Same after this one, white is able to connect. And if black plays here, now white is able to connect on the top. There is a very big difference between this situation when black had a stone here or when white has stone there. Because now black is not able to use the stone while attacking these two white stones here below. So that now white anyway destroys black's territory on the top, but white also destroys this black's territory on the right side. So this move looks quite unusual, and I think it would be good for white if we go like this. Okay, great. So let's, here in the game, we've got these exchanges. Okay, white played like this, black got this exchange, very big. And now white started ko. Is this ko necessary?
I didn't know if I could make much eye shape in the middle. I thought I missed my chance to play J13. So I thought it was necessary, but.
What about trying to make your base a little bit bigger? For example, this kind of move. Would black connect?
It might be good if they did.
If black connects, then you can play like this. If black plays something like this, suddenly you get bigger base. So that now when you play something like this, it might turn out that you are actually alive, even without playing this core. Your base starts to be much bigger, so that now you have much more chances to survive in that area. Instead of playing this move number 5, now you can also think, for example, about playing some other moves like this, so that later it would be possible to connect somewhere here or here. Then it would be possible for you, for example, to play here at M15. Maybe some other moves like this could work as well, so that it's possible to make this base as big as possible, so that there could be 2 eyes inside. Without making exactly this twice, like my plan would be to make this base as big as possible, so that there would be 2 eyes as well, so that black could not reduce this base and make only 1 eye inside. So after this move we got a ko. So if white loses this ko, black kills all the group, and if it would be possible to survive, then it would be possible for white not to have a ko, not to lose some part of this group, because we can assume that when you have a ko, white loses some part of this group, just for ko. So black will get some ko threats. In the actual game later, black got these stones. So this was for this ko. And like this, if white leaves, black cannot get these stones on the left side. So later we've got these exchanges. White captured the ko and black took all this left side. It's very big. Here before white had points. Now black has territory on the left side. It's very big when black kills these 3 stones, and also black gets here all this territory. So I think now black should have quite nice result in the actual game. Later white played like this, and in my opinion it's not center. Black doesn't really need to connect. I would think even about playing some tenuki, like trying to even kill maybe these stones from white if white doesn't answer. And like this, white gets really very big base here. Black gets a lot of points. White doesn't have a base already, so white would try probably to play somewhere around this black stone to get there some connection. And if white cuts here, then anyway black is able to play like this. Still it's possible for black to survive. White cannot play here because black is able to escape outside, and on the top black has anyway 1 eye. Here it's possible to have 1 eye anyway. So in this position I would recommend to play tenuki actually even once more for black. Later black played here, white cut. Okay, so here we've got these exchanges. Here this looks okay. And now I have a question to Shinoito. Did you think maybe about some other moves than this extension?
Do you think like R18 is better or something? Like
R18? No, I was thinking all the time about this shape. This, and this.
Maybe R10 or something?
R10, this one. Okay. Like after you play there, still you focus only on your shape, right? Still you focus only on your shape. In the actual game you play it here, you focus only on your shape, so that you are connected to everything. And what about trying to fix your shape so that you also put some pressure over opponent?
Q11?
Exactly. When you play this Q11, now you are able to cut here these 3 black stones. If you don't take away opponent's liberty, then you cannot do anything for opponent. But when you take away opponent's liberty, then you do both. You do 2 things at the same time. First thing, you fix the shape on the right side. Of course, there is some weakness with this cutting point, but it's not possible to do any problems actually for white there. And the second thing is that you create a weakness in opponent's shape, so that later you are able to cut here black. And if black answers, it might turn out, for example, that you finish in center, or you can even continue playing like this, so that anyway your shape is safe, because now you added this move number 5, so black cannot do there anything on the right side. Black is left without an eye, and black doesn't even have many liberties, just 2 outside liberties. So like this, in my opinion, it would be a little bit more interesting for white, so that not only playing here just to secure everything, but to secure everything plus also making it more annoying for opponent. Okay, later in the game we've got here these exchanges. Okay, So black survived with this group on the right side. And now white played here in this top left corner. I have a question to Kawabata. Did you think maybe about just blocking here white?
Yeah, I also thought about like maybe going B12 or something like that, or even something like that, because I thought that capturing the two stones in D13 would be enough, and you couldn't do anything. But I don't know. I recognize that was a little bit of a mistake.
Like, if you play here, then we get an exchange, right? White gets a stone here, you get a stone here. If assuming that white is dead, then white gets some help. White gets help. This stone at B15 can help white, even if white would not try to survive. This move can help white when white tries to sacrifice these stones, because there is like one more problem for black, that white has there a stone. So that the more outside stones from opponent, the more difficult to fix the shape. So in this situation, black gets a stone where black already had stones, so this stone doesn't really matter. But white gets a stone which can help white even if sacrificing. But actually in this game, this stone helped white for living with this group, so white didn't even need to sacrifice. It was possible even to survive. Here I would recommend to play something just to kill this group. Doesn't really matter exactly where. If you kill like this, it would be probably even better than this move here, because you kill plus you also take more points. But this move is just like so that you are kind of protected even more, so that white cannot even cut here, and white doesn't have ice, so white is dead. So this exchange, actually it's a minus for white, even because white all the time is not alive in that corner. But black gets here this stone here at C13, a little bit more protected with this stone at B14, so that black is a little bit even stronger outside.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and here white survived, and it was very big when white survived with these stones. Later, this one is a very big move. This is a very big endgame move, what white played. It's very, very nice move. And here, some more things were going on. Here, white cut the shape. It looks very nice. It looks, very tempting to play like this, so that now white is able to connect here everything and get a lot of territory. But what about extension here on the third line at R7? Did you think maybe about this? Actually, this is a question for both players.
No, we now entered the end game, so we are in the part of the game where I'm very bad at. So no, I just thought, let's take these 2 points. I will win.
Yeah.
I only saw this move after I clicked, and I felt terrible.
I see.
Because I should have played that move instead of cutting directly.
Yeah.
But I only saw it after I clicked.
If white plays here, now white is connected. It's not possible to really do anything. But like this, when white gets this empty triangle, white usually gets problems with liberties. This is like disadvantage of an empty triangle, that later there might be some problems with liberties. So when black extends, now if white wants to protect here this one stone and also take away some liberty from black, probably white would think about this move, but then black just plays this Kosumi and white is left without liberties. So black would kill white there. And like this, white got the possibility to connect, although there is still some co. It's not 100% connected yet. Still in the future, it's possible to play this kind of co, so there is still some problem for white. Later, white played here. This move looks like a Tesuji, so that it's not possible to play some monkey jump for black. But if we are looking on this shape, I would be afraid if I was white. Like, this is what I would be looking for in the next moves. If I was black and black would be able here to win this co, like generally, if I was black, I would think about where are cost threats. I would start counting cost threats, look about this, because it's a very big difference. If it's possible somehow to get some extra cost threats, or even if black has big enough cost threats and white doesn't, then I would just recommend to start this co. Because what happens if black wins this co, black kills all this group below this line, plus white doesn't have there any territory, plus even there might be some problems with this group higher. So that if black plays something like this, maybe even white will not have two eyes with this group here on the top. So if black would be able to win the score, then yeah, it's very big profit for black there. So white would need to have some really serious cost threats to be able to fight with black. So yeah, it might be possible that even this kind of cost threat is too small, because if black kills this score, white here kills these stones, and later black is able to do some more problems there on the right side, it might be even that this cost threat is not that big enough for white. But if black thinks that he has more cost threats, then might be also interesting to play some cost threats here, if yeah, black would like, because it also gives some profit for black. Or if white would anyway have a lot of, like, white would have more cost threats than black, so that it would not be possible to play for black this kind of score now, I would anyway recommend to keep the score in mind, and later in the future, when playing some next moves, just thinking about like having in mind cost threats. If black would be able to get some extra cost threats, then there would be a time to play here. In the future, we had a situation that white had here these stones. It was something like this. So here, this could be a possibility of cost threats. To play like this, it could be like a lot of extra cost threats for black. So yeah, black just played normal game, but while having this kind of weakness, normally white, it's very difficult game for white to keep, because black can just play somewhere else, and later if some cost threats appear, then black can start the score. So black is in a comfortable position, and for white, it's actually necessary to be very careful about where white plays. White cannot play normally, because in this kind of position, black gets a lot of extra cost threats. So black is already able to start the score. So like this is the game over. So now it's like, in my opinion, a very uncomfortable game for white. While having this score, and this I would like to recommend to keep in mind all the time when playing the next moves, because this is like, I don't know how many, 40 points. It's like extremely big, that area. So yeah, it's really possible to look for some extra cost threats. And with this score, even if white wins it, even if white plays here and later white connects, white got how many points? Just a few. It's not 10 points even for white, this difference in territory. So if black gets some nice cost threats, it's really possible to get a very big advantage for black. Yeah, but if coming back to the game, here we've got this end game. And here, for example, in this position, I would recommend to start this score. This is, yeah, now black gets a lot of extra cost threats, this one later again. I think black should feel quite comfortable. And actually, if we are looking just on endgame, here I would recommend to play this exchange. Just to play this first, everything here first, and then playing this move, so that white would not be able to play this exchange in center. This A for B, because if white gets the stone at A, black will not be able to play this kind of squeeze. So yeah, it would not be possible for black to take out all these points from white. And here white played, yeah, all these center moves. So white got a lot of points in endgame. Yeah, white got actually a lot of points in all this endgame. This is where white won the game. Yeah, here white also played like this. And for black, I would recommend, if playing in that part, to play like this. It's possible to play here, and later it's possible to play like this and even connect. Black will kill white. White doesn't have liberties. Even if white plays here, white has 2 liberties, black has 3 liberties. So yeah, it's possible to kill this stone. So for white, it's also a little bit risky. So I would recommend to play, for example, something like this instead, so that black could not kill this one stone. Also, afterwards, black played this exchange, but it's possible to play from the other side. Possible to play like this, like this. Black will kill something. Black will get some profit. And after this one, white already has here some territory, a few points. So yeah, it's also some profit for white. It's possible to train endgame. This is, yeah, endgame is trainable. So yeah, many times endgame is also repeatable. So it's really possible to study these variations, possible also to start learning about counting points in endgame. Yeah, just looking for some Tesuji, and then you will play endgame much better. So yeah, don't worry, it's possible to study this part. Yeah, here we've got all these exchanges. The score was all the time here. Here black played this part. I thought I was losing, so I felt I needed to play a bit risky. But this looks like too much. if black plays all this thing, black gets really a lot there on the bottom. White can play like this, and black will play here. White loses really a lot. In my opinion, this lower side is much bigger than this here in the center. So yeah, I didn't see that sequence at all. I see. Okay. Actually, even a little bit later in the game, it was still possible to play here for black. Also some Tesuji. So it's still possible to take even a little bit more out of it. Yeah, also all the time there is this problem with empty triangle. Empty triangle makes problems with liberties. So if somebody plays empty triangle, I would recommend to spend a little bit more time in that area because maybe some crazy Tesuji work in that area. Yeah, later we've got endgame, but here this move, in my opinion, it looks very small. This move, if we could compare this move, for example, with this move, this top right corner, it looks just much bigger. I think no need to count. This is like only 2 points move. Yeah, on this a5, so that white will have 1 point less, plus also black gets opportunity to play here. Actually, it's even a little bit less than 2 points on this left side. And here, yeah, black gets some points, and white is not able to play here this move, so that white will get some extra points in these spots. And also white would be able even to play one line further, something like this, so that black would need to come back. And even if we get just this exchange, we can see that black also had to play there a few times, yeah, in own territory, so black would not have these points either. Yeah, later we've got already an endgame, and in this position I think white was already ahead. And here in this part, all the time I would recommend to start playing the score. Just yeah, trying to play this. It's still some chance for black to win the game if white cuts. I think if I was white, I would give this chance of having territory for black. So I think white would play this way, but like this, black gets also extra points. Yeah, and later we've got already a normal endgame, so I think it was already good for white. Do you have any questions about this game? Thank you, Don. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much.